Welcome back to Lemon Lane Cottage. Today we are going to tour the shade garden and the whole perimeter garden, which leads into the tropical garden, which then leads into the sun-loving garden, and then the succulent garden. So that whole perimeter of our yard is mainly perennial. So we will be doing a perennial tour of the perimeter of the yard. I have just about finished my planting for the summer. It is going to start getting very, very hot here in Southern California. We are zone 10, and it can easily be in the 90s to 100 for the whole month of August and September lately. July, we may still get a few days in the 80s, but I like to have my actual planting work done by the first part of June. And then the rest is just upkeep and maybe adding a plant here or there, but that really is the exception and not the rule. So I have just about finished the shade garden to the tropical garden. That's just about done. We do still have one area in that perimeter part that is under construction, but considering this is a 3-year project, for us to only have that one section left is a very, very large victory in my book. So I'm excited to share it all with you. I am also going to add some, can you see this? That is ginger. This is just ginger from the market, but it is a very, well, it is obviously, it's a tropical plant, and the ginger leaves are actually quite beautiful and tropical looking. So this is going to be one of those plants that I put in, and you know I love to do this, that have a twofold reason to be in the garden. This will actually produce me quite a bit of ginger root that I can dig up and eat, you know, to use for medicinal purposes. We know ginger is wonderful for building the immune system, for anti-inflammatory. Ginger is just a wonderful thing to have on hand, plus it tastes great when you cook with it. So I have, let me show you this. I just took one ginger root from the market. Try to get organic. Most of the time, if it's not organic, it has been sprayed with something to keep it from getting these eyes, which are what we need when we're going to plant it. I actually already have some ginger root planted in the barnyard garden in my homestead area, and I will show you a picture of that. That has been in there. Ginger is a long game kind of plant. This is not something that's going to give you instant gratification like radishes. This is something that's going to take a while, up to a year actually, before you're going to get a harvest from what you plant. But I started that. I purchased ginger, and then I cut it so that there are, see these little finger nubs? That there are nubs on every piece that I cut. And then you're going to let it, this is where I cut it from. Can you see how it's hardened off here? You're going to set it aside and let it harden off. And what you're actually looking for is, I don't know if you can see the little nubs that are growing off of that kind of knob here. See the little nubs right here? That's what you're looking for on each piece. If you can see it, it's here on this one. And then there's another one there. So what I did was I bought a fairly large piece of ginger. I took the middle part out just for cooking, and then I actually sliced that up and dehydrated some of that to make into powders. So a lot of use from just one piece of ginger. And if you're like me and you need a piece of ginger to cook with, you don't usually need this much ginger. You just need a piece to cook with. So I have frozen it before, but I thought, why not use this opportunity to make more ginger? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put this into the tropical garden back by where the astilbe is, and you plant ginger flat. Don't plant it up like you would think, or down the root. You plant it flat like that. So you're just going to lay it in, and I will probably go a couple inches down. You lay it like that, and then you're just going to forget about it. Let it water whenever you water everything else, and in a couple of months you will start getting green shoots. The green shoots will actually turn into a very pretty plant. So I think it'll be perfect in the tropical garden. So that is what I'm up to today. Let me share the tour with you. I want to thank you again for subscribing. I'm hoping to have the June full garden tour out this week. Fingers crossed. We had some computer problems, some technical stuff that I won't go into, but hopefully it's all fixed and I can start uploading videos regularly again. So let's go ahead and do this tour. Thank you again for subscribing. If you have any questions from what you see, please leave it in the comments. I love to read them. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Not much has changed in the side yard garden. Everything has gotten bigger for sure, but I have not really added anything, especially here to the succulents. We've not had any really hot weather, so everything is looking healthy as can be. Everything is starting to fill in. You'll remember I put in the yarrow last month, and I will link last month's video, and it has more than doubled in size. I did add in here, this is actually perennial salvia, and I dug up a section in the perennial bed and divided it and put a couple of little pieces here that I'm hoping will take off, like the Shasta daisies have. Aren't they beautiful? And I know design wise that they are larger than what is behind them, which is that platinum, which is the platinum lavender. And I always forget the name of this. I will put it for you. I always forget the name. But anyways, back to the size and the design. I had no idea when I put this daisy in that it was the larger daisy. Just assumed it was the same as the other one I have in the perennial bed, but that's okay because the daisy flowers are only here for a certain amount of time, and then it's just green, and the lavender will only get larger. As with, I think that starts with an A. Gosh darn, I hate when I can't remember things. As will the bush there. So eventually it won't be quite so jarring that the daisy is bigger in the front. If I had it to do it again, I probably wouldn't do it that way, but that is gardening. So this is just the mirror image of what is on the other side where I put that yarrow. The back is status, perennial status, and all of these actually love the heat and are relatively low water requirements. Nothing going on in this next section here. This I've actually been amending, and I'm going to put sweet potato vine here. I'm waiting for my sweet potatoes to root out just a little bit more. this area back here is the final project to the perimeter yard garden. This actually, I'm going to get a better angle from you. This is star jasmine. It's struggling. It needs to be weeded. It needs to be fed. There was a gopher back there, and I show you it because certainly it is not beautiful, but I show you it to say that every yard has an area under construction or that's not working right. And right now this is ours. And honestly, this area here, I don't know when we're going to get to it. This patch here, so this is the end of what I've been working on, and I'll share that with you. This area here where all the weeds are, I'm going to clean it up, and I might mulch it just to keep the weeds out. But this is where my husband is going to put a pond. We're not sure. There is some stuff going on under the surface. I think there must have been some kind of concrete or something because we keep hitting concrete. So that needs to be dealt with. So we got to figure the logistics of that out. But coming this way, and I'll just give you a sneak peek. This is the area that I have been working on. I put in, that is a midnight penstemon. It is a perennial. It actually likes the sun. I'm not too worried about it here because I did check beforehand. And the sun does hit pretty strongly in this one pocket. So, crossing my fingers, but I'll keep an eye on it. If it needs to be moved, it can be moved. This is Coleus cinnamon, I believe. I got a 6-pack and I just dotted it in here just to kind of fill it out, and it gets quite large. It'll get probably 24 inches wide. But do you see that little pink? I thought it went well with that foliage. And the astilbe, isn't it gorgeous? I thought it played well with those colors. That is new rhododendron, I believe. My husband calls it an elephant ear plant. It will get large. Hopefully fill out that whole area. I added a fern. The japonica has been here. And of course, the hellebores. First year hibiscus there, and I do see a lot of new growth. Philodendron. And the hostas flowering. Cyclamen is holding its own here. I wasn't sure. You guys assured me it would be fine. Another hibiscus. The foxglove. The first flush of foxglove is done. I have some newer foxglove that appear to be putting out their flowers. First year for them, so the flowers will not be quite as tall as the last showing. But the star of the show for June, I can already tell, is going to be the hydrangeas. There are four of them in here. And because our soil is so high in alkaline, our hydrangeas are pink. I could do the whole add acid for blue ones, but I do not have that kind of time. And I think they're beautiful. Hostas in the back are getting large, second year for them. And of course the azaleas had their time in April. So that is the Perennial side yard tour. Shade garden, tropical garden, succulent garden, and heat-loving garden. And I will see you in the next video.